going here. And looks like we're going to be reviewing Zarya or in general off tank. And what level scrim is this? Is this tier 3, masters, silver? What are we looking at?
Like 3.7.
Okay. Okay. 3.7 scrim. Sounds good. And anything we should know about this or anything in general you were struggling with before we let the gameplay speak for itself and start picking it apart and looking for things for you to work on?
Positioning and I guess cooldown bubble usage.
Okay. Sounds like things that if you believe those are giving you some trouble, we'll certainly take a look at them. So we pop out here. What's that?
I said okay.
Okay, cool.
Let's keep this moving.
Okay. How confident are you that if you throw another right click right here, that it's going to hit something? Are you like 50% confident, 30% confident, 1% confident? And I'm talking in the game, not here with map hacks.
50. Yes.
Okay.
Usually people are holding there.
Right. So why are we reloading with 49 ammo? I'm pretty
I don't
confident.
know.
Okay.
I guess it's just like very chill.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, but you'd probably get damage out of that. And it's a high enough probability that you'd get damage out of that to totally be worth it. Okay. You hit that. You're trying to get around to get your right click in there. So I'm going to be nitpicky here because you're making your team, you're making your Winston wait on your assistants for this, where you just sort of go, okay, I'm here, and I'm going to stand on the card. And you've just kind of stopped and looked around here, and you know that your Winston is fighting. And you can still continue to pull this cart forward to count as being on this cart by going in front of it here, right? Like, we've already determined where you're standing is already a problem if there's a bunch of snipers and echoes and ashes and things like that set up here, right? So like we've already determined that's not a problem. So we might as well keep working our way forward so we can get this shot off faster because that's clearly what you're waiting on. You're like waiting for the cart to move forward to get this shot off, and that's silly. We can pull the cart forward from in front of it. Okay, you see what you just did there again? You went down to 50 ammo, and then you decided to reload, and then you went, now I'm going to peek and throw this again. And the situation hasn't really changed. It's not like you were low health, so you felt the need to go behind cover. In fact, let's just rewind and re-show this, in fact. This shot is worth throwing. This shot is worth throwing. You're at 384 health. Is it worth throwing another shot?
Yeah.
Totally. It's totally worth throwing another shot. This is just increasing your downtime, decreasing your uptime, however you want to think about it. That's all you're doing right here. And I bet if you'd stayed out there and kept throwing those last two right clicks, I actually bet that you'd have pretty much immediately summoned enough damage to you from the McCree and the Diva to justify a personal bubble, which you had on cooldown, or you had off cooldown rather. Yeah, you're consistently going for these 50 ammo reloads. Okay, so this is a scrim, so I'll be more critical than I normally would.
Okay.
Here you go. Okay. Do we have a play here? Are you guys making your push? This is your backline push, right?
Yeah, the idea is to dive up top while we try to walk up.
Yeah, no, it's a good plan. I'm not sure why your Anna's back here if that's the plan, to be perfectly honest. What your Tracer was doing was fine, though honestly, if they're not going to contest your Tracer, you can just let your Tracer push it. You don't even have to go do this play, but if you're going to do this play without your Tracer, I can live with that. Don't like that your Anna is down here personally, but I'll live with that too. What I am going to mind is here you're going for your play. I'm waiting for that bubble to be on your Winston. That's a little, hey, we would have liked to get that a little bit better. And we also run into this situation of, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this. I mean, I don't care. Like, it's just Winston damage. I'd like to get a little bit more than that before I justify using my bubble. Okay, and we do end up getting more off of him at least, but hey. Okay, so this is a team thing, but that was not the cleanest actual engage from your team there. Right idea. Is there a reason this is a reload rather than a right click at the Ana?
I don't know. I think it might just be like I just have this habit.
You do. You totally do have
Uh,
this habit, and I'm just sorry. I'm being somewhat facetious when I'm calling these out. I know that it's a habit. I totally understand what is going on here. It's
yeah,
probably coming from a mental space of, well, I'm afraid that people will attack me, and if someone attacks me, I want to be at full power. I want to have 100 ammo or close to it. I don't want to be, at 23 ammo or 50 ammo or
yeah,
whatever when someone attacks me. But the problem is, this is a 6v6 game, not a series of 1v1 games. And because it's a 6v6 game, these extra reloads decrease the total pressure that you're putting out of Zarya. And when the game actually evolves into the next phase, who is ahead in the next phase or when the next phase begins is sort of determined by which team had better pressure on the other team, because pressure is effectively damage, and damage leads to, okay, what is our position for converting these to eliminations. So, well, I just want to call your attention to it because you probably didn't even realize you were reloading this much. And it's
yeah,
not like reloads by themselves are bad. It's reloads when there's perfectly valid things to be doing with the ammo in your clip that is bad.
Bring it.
Okay. I don't love that. So you decide that you're going to commit for this Ana limb, and you get it. This could have been a little bit of a problem if you hadn't, but you get it. So we are happy. We are good.
Bring it.
What's on you? What are you concerned about that this bubble is for?
I thought I heard like someone on me, so I panicked.
Okay. Their tracer's up here. Maybe that's what it was. Your tracer's right here. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, we don't really want this. Okay.
Yeah.
Get in there.
I don't particularly like that bubble on your tracer either, to be honest. Okay.
Adjusting angle.
Oh, you had the discipline not to be a reload there. Thank you.
Fiscal привет. Barriers below.
I'm noticing it. The
So, okay. So where's your Winston? Your Winston's pushing cart. Okay. I don't particularly like that, but I'll deal. Why don't I like your Winston pushing cart? You should know this because you're running this comp in a competitive environment.
Well, if you take, I mean, he can take the most of the space on that spaceship, just to stop them from walking up. And then like when we engage, it's easy for him to drop onto whatever we're trying to engage on.
Sure. All of that is true, but what I'm actually gonna refer to this as is your comp is based off of three main points. What is the core that makes up your double bubble comp?
Your Winston Echo,
It's
and
actually
then
your
I guess
Winston,
Zarya.
Zarya, Ana are the three
Oh,
pieces that really make up your double bubble comp. The Brig is a mainstay. She'll always be there too, but I'm less interested in her for the point I'm making. What you're looking at is it's sort of this three-spigoted wheel, or whatever we want to call it, three-spoked wheel, whatever. And what that is, hey, my Winston needs to be going in to be charging his own primal, his Ana's nano, and his Zarya's energy. That needs to happen, and it needs to happen fairly consistently, because otherwise
yeah,
Zarya just will not have enough energy. You've probably noticed that. Like when you're playing with a Winston, you probably end up at like 60 energy a lot more. When you're playing with a Reinhardt, you probably end up with like 80 energy a lot more. Is that a fair observation? Yeah.
yeah,
So you sort of need your Winston to keep going in for the comp to work. So you can't really have him back on the cart. If he's back on your cart, your Ana is going, well, this comp is based, a lot of the comp's actual engagement strategy is based around having either primal or nano. It's sort of like we'll do a
yeah,
Winston
yeah,
soft engage, maybe we'll do two Winston soft engages, and then the third time, or maybe the second time, we'll have primal or nano plus a high energy Zarya, and that'll be great. If he's not going in, Ana's not getting her nano, Winston's not getting his primal, you're not getting your energy. You're instead having to pick what we're going to call lesser targets here, like the echo, which you just did. But it caught my eye that you did the echo because you should generally in this comp be like, you'll use bubble on other people as an out to save them, don't get me wrong, but that's not what you were doing there. You were bubbling the echo to get more aggressive. And you usually
Yeah.
can't really do that because you'd get off cycle with your Winston, right? So
Right.
this is sort of the thing where you can't really afford for your Winston to be pushing cart because you need to be, if you're bubbling someone else, it's either because it's an out for them, you're protecting them from a mistake type thing, someone got hooked, someone's about to get crushed, etc. Or it's because you know your Winston is in spawn and can't. And I think here maybe you knew your Winston was on cart, but I'm going to tell you that that's wrong and you need to fix that with your Winston. If you need to push cart and your Ana can't do it, because of how the map is, how things are going, the sight lines, it needs to be your tracer like it was back
Yeah.
there on first. Okay. Cool.
Your best shot.
Good.
Ready for battle.
A little dicey. Okay. So you've got 2 seconds on personal. You're pushing this. You're at half health.
Ready for battle.
I don't know what the plan here was. And what I mean by that is you're looking at this, you're doing this. I understand what you're doing here, but now you're in this situation. The tracer's just done too much, or I thought it was the tracer, has put too much pressure on you. You've taken a little too much pressure damage-wise. You're at half health already. You can't really aggress with this bubble, right? Because if you try to push forward with this bubble, you're already at half health. You're not getting meaningful heals. Like, if you push forward with this bubble, it's going to be too easy to actually reset you. Is that a fair assessment? So,
Yeah, 'cause
like,
they can pop it.
right. So, like, you sort of need to use this as a poke bubble, but you're really too close for a poke bubble. Like, the two sort of personal bubbles that Zarya uses, if we were to arbitrarily define them, would be bully bubbles, where she has most of her health and she walks forward and she goes, I'm going to put pressure on you. And I'm actually not going to bubble until I've put enough pressure on you, you've put some pressure back on me, and I bubble to sustain this and maybe get out. But I don't look to use my bubble immediately in these situations. I'm intentionally bullying you because I have my bubble and can go, and yep, now I have my bubble and maybe I'll get out. Or maybe I'll use my bubble to stay and get the finish and then get out as my bubble is ending. The other option is more of like, hey, I'm at poke distance and I see the projectiles in the air, I've taken damage, I expect to take more, I'm popping my bubble. And you're sort of at like the right health for, if you were already in here bullying them, you could pop your personal bubble right now to continue bullying them and get them down. Or you could do this for like, you're going to be tempted to continue shooting at me. You've burned enough of my health. I'll pop this personal. But this positioning is such that if you don't get out with this personal bubble, they should just be able to run you over. Now, it's not quite that simple because your Brig is here, your Tracer is here, but you're really too close to you're too close for a poke bubble, and you can't really use a bully bubble because you haven't bullied them hard enough, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense.
Ready for battle.
And now you're pushing forward with this, like, almost like it's my Reinhardt is going to swing behind this bubble type thing, or like this isn't a real bubble. And sure enough, they were within an inch of resetting you there.
Yep.
Get in there. Take him off.
So here we are.
Get in there.
You can do that. You can do that. Again, I'm a little conscious of how willing you are to do this because it means you and your Winston aren't necessarily on the same page. He isn't feeling like an internal tick, a need to go in every time or within a second or two every time of your bubble coming off of cooldown, and he should be. For you guys to make this comp work, he sort of needs to be on an internal count of, I want to be trying to go in within a couple seconds of my Zarya's projected bubble coming off of cooldown. And he's just chilling. He's just chilling. And you guys clearly aren't on that page because if he's doing that and you're not bubbling him, he's going to feed. And if he's not doing that, you're going to be energy starved. So, like, you've now been like, oh yes, here's another bubble for my Echo. And again, sometimes that happens, and you'll tell him, hey, no bubble because you had to save someone else, and he'll get it and he'll adjust. But I'm concerned that I've seen a couple Echo bubbles here, and a couple Echo bubbles that weren't like, oh my god, she just got bashed type thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
where's your Winston right now?
Yeah, we're not on the same page.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But wouldn't it be great what he could do to this McCree if he had a bubble? Like, if he had a bubble,
Yeah.
he could be like, hey, I don't care that you have flashbang. I've got a Zarya bubble, then my bubble. You're just going to lose, McCree. And so you're not really abusing the power of the comp.
Привет.
Okay. That's not quite the usual order we go for our double bubble in, but hey. Good bully bubble. Little aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's our bubble. If you insist, I'm not convinced you need to reload here. You can just fire another right click, but hey.
I just practice never pressing reload.
Kind of, yeah. That's sort of what's
This
going
is
to happen.
before,
So what
yeah.
you're going to do is you're going to go, hey, I'm only going to press the reload button if I am behind cover and expect to be
Yeah.
behind cover for the entire duration of my reload. Well, why would that happen? It might happen because my team is in spawn. It might happen because I'm missing a lot of health and I need to recover some health before I'm willing to peek again. It might happen because we've wiped them and I just don't expect anyone to show up. But yeah, you want to practice being very conscious of your reloads, and if you struggle to do that, you can rebind the reload key because it'll make you think about it every time you have to reload. You don't have to do that, but if you're struggling to work out this reload habit, because it is one of the trickier things to work out of one's gameplay after it's worked its way in, that can be a way to do it. But really what you want to do is you just want to be like 5 to 15% of my brain power thinking about the reloads. Like, that was, why did I just do that type thing. But that's okay.
Especially when you're high energy.
What's that?
Especially when you're high energy.
I mean, it hurts either way because, yes, it hurts. In some ways, it hurts more when you're high energy. On the other hand, if you're reloading when you're low energy, you're putting less pressure on them. And one of the best ways to get them to shoot at you is to put more pressure on them, which is how you get energy. I'm a little surprised at that target selection. You're shooting down there. Why are we still aimed down there? As opposed to, like, okay, you can shoot at the Kree, but, like, this doorway is so predictable and easy for these two. Just an easier shot to be had.
I guess if they don't DM, I didn't want to bother.
Okay. I'm perfectly happy to make her spend DM on right clicks, but hey. Okay.
Oh. It would have been so good if I got it earlier.
Well, it would have been pretty good if you got it early, but I also want to think about your ult bank. So what I mean by that is, now if you win this fight, you probably win. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're gonna get maybe a trickle fight after this if you win this fight. But usually in this comp, you think to yourself, hey, if we have rally, we're probably gonna win the fight. If we have grab, we're probably going to win the fight. You try to not win the same fight with those because it kind of messes up your ult rotation. You think of this comp, if you talk about this comp and go, is this a poke comp? Is this a dive comp? Or is this a brawl comp? Well, which do you think it is?
Brawl.
Double bubble? Brawl comp?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's a fair take. What if
brawl dive?
What if instead of your... No, you have... Okay, so you have an Echo and a Tracer. and a Winston, and we're calling it a brawl comp. Like, okay, but it's a pretty loose brawl comp, right? I actually don't care what your answer is, which of these you'd said, whether it was poke, dive, or brawl. My point is, you're actually sort of an ult comp. You get what I'm saying? Where you sort of like, we have a powerful enough ult bank that we're pretty sure that we can win most of our fights with our ults. And it's why a lot of the time, in a lot of matchups, you'll see the comp that you're running refuse to take a real fight against other comps that aren't a mirror until it's charged up either nano or primal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's actually mostly an ult comp, which is sort of its fourth own thing outside. We could treat it as one of the other comps. You could treat this as just a highly hybridized form of a brawl comp or a highly hybridized form of a dive comp or a poke comp, but it doesn't really fit any of them great. So it's really what you're going is, hey, we can out ult almost anything on the board. And two of the big reasons you can do that are your grab and your rally. Now it's not going to bother me because if you win this fight, you probably win the map or you probably win the point. And also, they also have rally, so like you can't just win with rally. That's not going to be enough. On the other hand, you've got rally and duplicate going. That's a lot of ult power. So like,
Yep.
I don't necessarily love this. Now your grab is in theory controlling Nano Winston, which hey, that's got some good value. But like that is something you want to be thinking. You would like in your fight planning phase for this to mostly be most of your plans shouldn't involve using rally plus grab unless the other team has used one of those big ults, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I could have saved it for like, in after we use those ults, if nothing happens.
Right, like
And
you're
we still
not
need it.
really in a ton of danger right now, even from this nano,
Yeah.
because you have rally going, right? Like, is this really
Yep.
gonna do? You got it.
Огонь по готовности.
Right, and now it might be okay. Well, now they've invested another
Yeah.
ult into this. Now I'm gonna grab him because yeah. Where I was gonna ask where our bubble's gonna go, but now it's a question of are we gonna survive? Oh yeah, your brig. Your brig is where your bubble is going. I wonder how Storm Gig is doing. Well, he's not doing anything important. Okay.
I could have saved him still.
Yeah.
Get the
Like
primal, so
you
that-
two just aren't really in sync yet, which is something that this comp you're gonna have to work on to get the greatest value out of this comp.
I'm also like a week and a half into this team.
Okay. Okay. No
and
problem.
Like 2 scrims.
2 scrims in a week and a half. Okay.
Yeah,
That's,
or like 3, sorry.
Okay.
3 scrims.
I was gonna say that's a pretty soft scrim schedule, but that's
yeah,
fair.
it's not. Yeah, it's not a very heavy schedule.
Okay. I mean, I like it. 2 to 3 scrims a week is good for a rec league, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue here.
Fuck out of
Oh boy. Not too worried about that. It stings, but so be it.
Hello.
Team should still clean this up quite easily. Great. Okay, so we're not really thinking about what our monkey is going to do with our bubble enough. We have some reload issues. We talked about one of those personal bubbles, and now we're going to play some Diva. Okay. I'll come back and revisit your Zarya at the end here, just sort of in the general recap. But for now, let's see how the Diva goes. I'm doing fast forward like that's going to work. It's a scrim code. I have no idea how much time is between rounds here.
Greetings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You are back on Zarya.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Greetings.
Scrim codes!
Yeah.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming.
Okay,
1. Attackers
you're in the double bubble again, this time with the McCree, which is mostly a we plan on countering double, we expect to fight double bubble selection. No problem. Sure.
Your best shot. Just a scratch.
It's not amazing as a bubble.
Yeah, I could have waited.
Okay, this is a problem. This is a problem. Okay, so what does your monkey do when their monkey comes in?
he might be diving their back.
That's exactly what he's doing. Yes. So the general thing that's going to happen is when one monkey goes in, your monkey has the option to go, well, I could peel their monkey, but it doesn't take very good advantage of my conal weapon that has spread, of my weapon that isn't very high damage but is threatening to 200 HP heroes. Most of the time, your monkey is going to do a better job of peeling pressure for your team by not letting their backline contribute. It's just how his kit is designed. Occasionally he'll do the peel dive when like the opponents are completely out of line of sight and can't support their monkey's jump, but actually because you exist, he's not going to do that very often. And what I mean by that is he recognizes, or he should recognize, that if he peels the other monkey, you're not going to get very much energy. You're going to bubble someone, and the monkey cannot do enough damage to break the bubble, even if the monkey is completely zapping the whole time. So you're not going to get great energy out of it. So what he actually needs to do is he most of the time needs, it's not a every time thing, but most of the time he needs to go after their backline, usually up here, not down here, but maybe he doesn't trust that you're going to bubble him, or maybe he just doesn't know. He needs to go after their backline, especially if you're not already high energy, when the other monkey comes in. So you can't be going, oh, well, let me use this bubble to peel. Oh, well, let me push this back a bit, and then I'll look to peel my monkey. You need to go, the monkey's coming in. Holy cow, I better get my bubble on my monkey. Does that make sense? Okay.
Barrier activated. Give me your best shot. That tickles.
I mean, they were kind of retreating when you popped that bubble. Like, I saw the projectile
Yeah.
here too, but...
Go.
I thought they were gonna peek it. Even that bubble, he missed jump.
Yeah, I know. Nothing you can do about that. You figured he was going to hit the jump because, you know, that's not like he got whip-shotted away because you bubbled him too late. He just missed the jump. But
Yeah.
what are you going to do? I don't care if he messes up. I care if you mess up. If he's regularly messing up, you guys might have to have because he's doing something wrong, you guys can have a conversation because it means your expectations are different, but that's just a mechanical error on his part.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you communicated that you don't have bubble.
Yeah. I tried to, so hopefully.
Good. That was aggressive.
Okay, so we said we can nano, and I'm like, yeah, nano me.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was like, I'm gonna build grab and everything, and we'll be able to wipe. But we
Got
ended up nanoing our brig.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna see.
Got it. So this was a belief that you were gonna get nano. Yeah,
Yeah.
she got the.
Because I'm full.
No, you didn't nano your brig. You nanoed
no,
your
I
McCree.
didn't. Oh, our McCree? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. We didn't even. So I took a loud.
Физкульт, привет. Hello. Greetings. Thank you.
This is a long time for you to have been waiting here. You had all the time in the world to go up here, and while you might drop anyway, you kind of defensive double bubble on this map. Defensive Zarya is a lot stronger than offensive Zarya on this map because it solves Zarya's high ground issue. Like, Zarya has a high ground issue compared to your Tracer, compared to your Winston, compared to sort of what your comp does. Admittedly, your Ana and Brig have the same issue, but double bubble is stronger defensively on this map in general because of the high ground issue. You know, you're not diva effectively. So like
Right.
it is pretty important to be like, well, if I've got time, I might as well take this so that I can lob my things down. I might still drop and melt someone, but having the ability to lob these down as opposed to trying to lob my right clicks up, it matters enough that you should have looked for that here. And it's not like you have to come out this way to contest this card immediately.
Is that all you've got? Огонь по готовности.
What's the follow-up plan?
Oh, we're gonna dive it.
You don't have pulse bomb yet, but you'll get it.
Oh yeah.
You have leap. You have 3 blinks. Okay, yeah, that's gonna work. Should work.
Огонь по готовности.
You don't have a bubble for him, so he immediately gets knocked away.
That's the power
Okay.
of attraction.
And the pulse bomb does go off.
Barrier zone strong as the
You're gonna go down here, but that's life.
perseverance is hello.
Oh yeah, I make a mistake here, I think.
Hello.
Okay, oh yeah.
Is that all you've got?
Okay, oh, so you're gonna hold here now? Oh, you're gonna rotate across without bubble available. Interesting.
They didn't die.
Okay. Where's your monkey? Where's your monkey? I don't understand. Your monkey's right here. And you need to be looking for this because your monkey
Mm-hmm.
is going in on this aggressive and having this for the flashbang for this, like, he is just going to get crushed. Flashbang, nade, sleep, bash, like, he absolutely needs this bubble, and here you are bubbling for peel for your backline, which just isn't going to work.
Barrier on you.
Oh.
Double champion.
Triple kill.
Onward.
I mean,
Luckily,
I'm glad we
but
still
if
win
we
the
could've
team.
killed him.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Hello. Привет. Физкульт, привет.
The mistake is next.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. That's gonna happen. Like, this is cool and all, except that has your team at all established high ground control here? Like, your monkey's thinking about it.
Nope.
You guys, like, your team is playing from server room. Maybe if your Anna was playing from here, but your team is playing server room. So yeah, you
Yep.
you understand it.
Yep. Yeah, I got yelled at.
Fair.
Just физкульт, привет. Greetings. Привет. Физкульт,
30
привет.
seconds remaining.
Turn them back.
Okay.
Greetings. Just scratch. Hello.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I don't know about that trade of distance for health there.
I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
How fun is this gonna?
A temporary setback. Физкульт, привет. Barrier on.
Oh god, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Good question. Good question. Oh, and now we're gonna push this. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Get in there. Огонь по готовности.
Okay.
Triple kill.
I'm on fire.
Okay. Well, all's well that ends well. Take your high ground.
Greetings. Strong as the mountain. Enemies coming up. Ready for battle.
Fine.
Charging up.
Huge.
Огонь по готовности.
Just reminding you that this reload issue is still here. There's a grab that would be like, oh, I wonder,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder how good this would be.
Is that our guy?
No, Well, wait, hold on. No, it can't be your grab because it's your grab.
It's there. I
It's
think we
their
grabbed
grab.
our.
But like they're all grouped around it because they were trying to
Yeah.
take care of your monkey.
Yeah.
Bring it. Don't be shy. Hit me. Barrier is on you. Greetings.
I mean, I'm just not sure why you expected her to still be there for that shot. So I'm good with that shot. I have no idea why this right click was aimed right here. Like, I have no idea whatsoever. But hey.
Get down. Best shot.
You get the break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 60 seconds remaining. Adaptive circuits engaged.
Привет, Лев.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Barrier is on you. Go. Ready for battle.
Been nice knowing you.
Get in there.
That's.
Okay. Unless you do this.
Oh god.
Barrier is
I
on
thought she was good.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not worried about that one.
Am I too wide?
Yeah, I'm just gonna show you from their perspective.
Is it like where the monkey is? I can shoot from there.
Yeah, exactly. You could be like, hey, I'm going to do this a little more with this as my cover, with this as my cover, with this as my cover that I'll just crouch if I have to, but you're sort of hanging out in the middle of the lane, and, you know, their echo is like, oh, I don't mind you being in the middle of the lane. That's pretty great.
Yeah. I'm taking on this.
ready for battle. Next move like it. Огонь по готовности.
Okay.
Barrier is on you.
High noon? Oh yeah.
Is that the called play? No, High Noon is over. I'm just not
Yeah.
sure why you're quite so interested. Like, you are looking hard for this bubble
Yeah.
on him. And I'm like, is there a reason we're like his health is fine. He's not high nooning anymore. Like, we're looking hard for that bubble.
Barrier is on you. Ready for battle. Огонь по готовности.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. Oh! This hurts so much! Like, there's no reason you
Yeah.
can't melt him from here. None
Yep.
whatsoever. And you're
I'm
just
just-
like,
Hit me.
I'm just oblivious to everything else.
completely. And it hurts. Okay. Okay.
60 seconds remaining.
My strength unleashed.
Okay.
Yep.
It's probably a little early, but fine.
Hit me.
Okay. So,
I'm pretty sure we didn't even get that. Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Replay codes can be a little funky with the scrims. So the things that we look at from this game and go, hey, you need to work on, they're probably going to jump out at you that the first thing I'm going to say is your reloads, because that's going to help you everywhere. They're mostly going to help you surrounding your poke right clicks, and that you're missing poke right clicks by going for reloads when you don't need to. And if you do less reloads, you'll get more damage on them, which will cause them to pay more attention to you, which will get you more energy, which will cause you to do more damage to them, which will, and that snowballs, and we love that. So that's going to be the first thing. That's also going to be the hardest. You're going to have to like focus on that, and it might take you, I don't know your learning improvement speed, but that might take you 30 games while other things take you 5 games to learn. That might take you 20 games when other things take you 10 games to learn. I don't know, but that's one of the harder ones to correct, and you've sort of actively got to focus on correcting that reload habit. And like I said, you can cheat a little bit by changing the button, but still do be focused on it, even if that's what you do to do it.
Mm.
Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing that we want you to work on is we need you to really get in sync with your monkey here when you're playing this composition. It really needs to be I am looking to use this projected bubble almost on cooldown, and I need him diving almost on this projected bubble's cooldown. Now, the cooldowns don't work perfectly between your bubble and his bubble, so you might have to wait like 4 seconds in some cases for it, though never really, you don't really want to be waiting more than that. If you're having to wait more than that, the comp starts to fall apart and other comps start to become better, quite frankly. So like
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you really need to be looking at. You do want to call if you're in these situations where you had to use it because someone else got stunned, or someone else got hooked, or someone else got halted, or whatever the case may be. If you have to use it as an out, you can absolutely use it as an out, but a monkey being on someone shouldn't be your reason to use that. In fact, if the monkey is on someone, you are specifically looking for your monkey to get the bubble in. That's your first priority before getting to trying to melt the monkey that's on your team yourself. Your priority is to get your bubble on your monkey, because he is almost certainly doing the same thing at the same time. And if he's not, your comp and how it's being driven is broken down. If he's not on the monkey, it's because he's made the rare exception, decided that you have plenty of energy, and decided that the opposing team's backline can't back up their monkey right now. So he's trying to make a 6v1 or 6v3 sort of on their monkey, because the monkey has the bubble and maybe has packs, whatever. He's intentionally doing that, and he's doing it because you're already high energy, and he's trying to punish the fact that they did not a great engage that their backline can't follow up on. So when it comes to your bubbles, look for your monkey and really try to get in sync with, hey, I have these 4 hitting him. And that's just gonna be critically important for this comp. Does everything I'm saying surrounding these projected bubbles on your monkey in this comp, in this mirror, make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so that's good. For your third thing, there's a couple places we could go. Your third thing is definitely not on the tier of those first 2 things. Those first 2 things are much more important, and I would want you to work on those first 2 things one at a time first. For your third thing, we could talk about things like this, where, what are you doing over here? We could talk about some of your stuff like this, where it's like, what are you planning to do? Or the other direction, what are you doing? Like, we could talk a little bit more about some of your personal bubble usage, and that would be valid. Really, it's some of your personal bubble and positioning stuff usage that we could talk about. We could talk a little bit more about, okay, how do you want to plan to use your ults here? We could talk a little bit more, again, this would be positioning. Yeah, I guess we'll hone in a little bit more on your positioning and understand that, hey, your positioning when it comes to this comp, you'd love to get into situations where when you do the nano engage, when you do the primal engage, you can run them down, but you're not really to that step yet in how your team is playing this comp for the most part. So you instead, that's trippy. So you instead want to be going, hey, we want to go ahead and just understand that I have my cover here. I have my cover here. I want to have my cover when I'm part of the backline. I want to be in these cover spots where I can contribute, but so when their monkey comes in and jumps on us, me and my backline can sort of pull him back around, so he has to fight out of line of sight of his backline. Because I just told
Yep.
you that that's a bad thing. So like, you want to be playing with these covers where you can sort of pull him back around. And you want to be aware of, I'm not opening myself up to multiple threats at once. I'm not out here where this can get me and this can get me. I'm here where I can choose to just fight this. I'm here where I'm lobbing at them, but if something comes in, I can just fight this. I'm not playing up here necessarily where they've got threats there, and there. I might play here, but I'm ready to pull it back into here type thing. really that sort of thing is what you're looking for. And I'm aware of my high ground, etc. I would worry much less about this third point surrounding your positioning, and I'm going to elaborate on it less because the other two things are going to be much more important for you to work on one at a time and get value out of. But do you have questions on any of these things? Anything you'd like me to get into more on any of these 3 points, or any more general, hey, how do I drive Zarya, or how do I drive this off tank, or what should I do here? If you have any more general Overwatch questions, I'm happy to answer.
No, I'm more of a. I want to try changes and see how things go first,
Sure,
and
sure.
then and then have other questions after.
Absolutely makes
That
sense to
that
me.
person. Yeah.
Absolutely makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
then you've got a few minutes left here if you don't have any other questions. So I can go, hey, let's look at like one point maybe of some other map, or we can just call it here. It's up to you.
Mm, Let me see. We might just call it here, honestly.
Totally fine. Totally fine. I
'Cause
think you
I'd
got
rather go in depth. I like going in depth and turn things. So
totally understand. Totally understand. I think
yeah.
you've got plenty here to go work on, so I look forward to, seeing the results of you implementing it. But good luck to you out there,
Cool,
man.
cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem. Talk to you soon.